Welcome to another episode of That's Some Crazy Shit with Kelly and James. I am Kelly, and my co-host is James, and it's our special Halloween show.
It is our Halloween show. How's it going? Yeah, insert sinister laugh here.
Insert sinister laugh. Yes, I like Halloween. It's like the only holiday that I can honestly say I really like.
Really?
I'm not
Why do
big
you like
on
Halloween?
because I like to see all the costumes, right? I like the costumes and the parties, and sometimes the costumes get really cool and elaborate, and I always wanted to go to like a really cool upscale masquerade party like you see in the movies. And maybe hold a mask with a stick.
Yeah, with the stick.
And you won't be able to know who I am.
Yeah. God, she looks like Kelly, but
Yeah,
I can't
but
tell.
could
She's
it be
got that
Kelly?
mask with a stick.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, we thought we would do something different for Halloween. We have no guest. It is just us.
Just like old school.
We're old school in it, and we're going to actually do urban legends.
Yep. Go with Halloween.
We're going to go with Halloween theme. We're going to do urban legends. James has a bunch of information, and then if we have any time, I actually have two urban legends that I actually thought were kind of interesting. They're both cryptids, by the way.
Oh, surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Oh,
surprise.
she does the surprising people. All
All right, so get right to it, James. Go for it.
All right, so doing research on urban legends, I found that they actually fall into several different categories. I did not know this. First one is crime. Okay. Things like the people.
I know. DB
What?
Cooper.
Yeah, good one. There you go. So they found crime. Medicine is also one. So an example would be if you eat watermelon seeds, the watermelon will grow in your stomach.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Internet, which is, fairly new. Okay. And those are always the fake videos, where they show a UFO landing in a guy's backyard and them having barbecue, that kind of stuff.
I saw a fake video of a plane flying upside down, and they said it was a glitch in the Matrix.
Oh, I know. And I hate when they do shit like that. You're like, even I have a basic understanding of aerodynamics, and that plane ain't flipping over without ripping apart people. Yeah, I saw that one too. That's true. And but it's actually pretty good animation.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it wasn't a real video. But I just that's a example.
Yeah, and then the paranormal. Okay. Mothman, Bigfoot, anything like that.
Skinwalkers.
Yeah, most of the stuff we talk about apparently can be called urban legends.
Okay.
And then marketing urban legends, which I really never thought about. And that's like a company may hide a secret symbol in its logo. So it's really a reptilian civilization, but you don't know because you don't know what the little symbol is. But now you
couldn't that be like the US dollar?
Yep, because there's all sorts of shit, and there's the pyramid with the eye,
all types of
all
stuff.
Shit,
yeah. Okay.
So they fall under those categories. Okay, which I thought was interesting. I did not know that. All right, so I wanted to start with one, and I didn't want to always do, because you hear about the Bloody Hook guy and Bloody Mary and all those. So I tried not to get the typical one you always hear about, but also remember my wheelhouse, so you'll understand when I pick two of them. All right, so I chose, it's called a Pukwudgie. Okay. And you're gonna ask me what?
Okay, James, what exactly is a Pukwudgie?
God, good thing you asked, yeah. So a Pukwudgie.
Thanks for the cue.
Yeah,
Thank you for the cue.
To cue you up there. Come on, I'm setting you up for the home run. So a Pukwudgie is a Native American thing. Okay, they're kind of like, maybe elves.
They sound cute.
Little bit mischievous. Okay. But they can also shape shift.
Oh.
So people have seen them turn into porcupines and like shit like that.
Okay.
So picture you know those garden gnomes, how big those are?
Yes.
Okay, so Pukwudgies are supposed to be about that big.
Okay.
Okay, so they see them turn, they're shapeshifters because people have seen them turn into like porcupines and ravens and stuff like that. Okay. So when you see them, it's usually not good. Okay, it pretends, something bad's going to happen. Legend has it that they kidnap children. Of course, you want to tell your kids that so your kids don't wander too far away from home. Pukwudgie's going to get you. Okay. They've said to use like some kind of sand to blind people. So when you see them, or so you won't see them, they'll poof, hit you with the sand.
Wow, smart Pukwudgie.
Yeah. So, the kind of thing, the feel I got for it is think of a garden gnome that was kind of a evil little, entity. Now, I don't know if I would say evil. What? Mischievous.
Okay.
Not really. Not in a.
But what do they look
way.
like? Do they look like garden gnomes?
Well, what the description I got was it's troll-like, so it's a human troll-like thing.
Okay.
So yes, I guess it would be, but maybe Native Americans would see them with a different look to them. Maybe they had long hair, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
According to their culture and custom. Okay. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You go with the Pukwudgie.
Okay.
And I had first heard of him. Oh, it's been a while. It was on. Had to be the History Channel because that's the only thing that really shows anything like that. And I saw it on there, and this guy was saying how him and his dog were out walking, and they said saw this little creature, and I don't remember what he was saying. It was like, "Oh here," or something. He's like, he kept saying, and he figured out he was trying to say, "Come here, come here." And he's like, I felt like if I would have went over there, I would have been gone.
Scary.
So yeah, they're kind of freaky, and there's if you watch some of that stuff on History Channel, Travel Channel, and stuff, you see stories like that. I'm sure they have them on YouTube. There's one story about
spell Pukwudgie.
Pukwudgie, Pukwudgies, Pukwudgies.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What else you got?
All right. Well, how about you take a turn?
So I actually did one that I thought was kind of interesting, kind of more recent. It is the Fresno Nightcrawler.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or known as the Fresno Alien. And it's only made 2 appearances so far. One appearance would be in Fresno, very good. And the other one is in Yosemite. Both this time it was caught on CCTV footage, right? Yeah. And however, there is a man in Poland who says he's seen the creature as well. So now maybe the Fresno, what is it called? Fresno Nightcrawler is now in Poland. So the first time they said they saw it was, they thought they saw it in the Carmel area by a 60-year-old farmer and his wife, and they were driving in December of 2014 when they came over a hill and saw a 7-inch tall, slender gray creature now known as the Carmel area creature. So they believe that to be the same thing as the Fresno Nightcrawler. It's been also videotaped. It was spotted again in Yosemite, which they said it was a little smaller. This one's about 5 inches, but had the same features. And they say, which I couldn't find any video footage, but they say it could be clearly seen in the video footage.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, and you can see it. It's crazy.
They said it looks like a little humanoid. Video? Well, I didn't really look. I only looked for a moment because then we had to record, so I ran out of time. So, but approximately, 5 to 7 inches high, thin, white, humanoid looking, and yeah.
It looks like a head on 2 legs.
Yep, basically. Now they thought the origins of this were they thought that it was Native American, but that's been debunked. So the first sighting was in Fresno by a man named Jose who woke up, his dogs were barking. He had it on the footage, him and his brother, and they even had the footprints outside. But by the time the police got there, all the evidence had been washed away by the rain. So, but
and
they
tried
did
to debunk that.
Yeah, they did. Actually, it was on, there's been 2 debunkings of this. One for being known on Sci-Fi's Fact or Fake Paranormal Files, and they called it unexplainable or endearing pop culture.
Or urban legend.
Or fun urban legend. Then there's also been some hoaxes where there's been some people who have tried to dress up and they've debunked those. But that was mine. That was the one that I had, the Fresno Nightcrawler. Only been seen twice though.
Yeah, if you can find the video from Yosemite, that's crazy because it's plain as day. There's 2 of them walking, like a big one and a little one.
Yeah, basically a head on 2 legs.
It's freaky, huh?
Yeah, yep. And they have people who drew pictures of it, and that's what they drew. A head on 2 legs. Yes, interesting.
It is. It's a trip, huh? And and you think about it, that's fairly recent.
So they said that it is a new. These are some of the explanations that people have said. It's an alien, right? That's the first one. It's a new species, possibly a primate with short arms. It's a misidentified deer standing upright.
Oh.
It's pants or puppet on a wire. It's a bird like a crane, and walking. It's a person wearing big pants and walking on stilts.
Okay. Now, after you see the video, and then you go through that list again, and then you're going to ask yourself, what were those people drinking or smoking when they were saying it's so-and-so?
A deer standing upright?
See, a deer. Seriously. It's like, okay, you see this video, and like it does it. It's a head with 2 legs, night vision, all right? So you think a deer is a more plausible explanation after you see this video than something that's, say, unknown. You can tell a deer.
Yeah, you could, especially if a deer was walking upright. That's weird.
Yeah.
Right? That's weird. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, some of those common sense, you're like, that doesn't make sense. It makes more sense that it's unknown than a deer, in my opinion. So,
if you want to see what the Fresno Nightcrawler looks like, go to YouTube. I'm sure if you typed in Fresno Nightcrawler, from what I've been told, and I couldn't find it, but I didn't look that hard, there is CCTV camera. Both times this creature was spotted.
Yeah.
All right, James, you are up.
That was a good one. All right, so my second one I chose was the Black-Eyed Children.
Okay, I've heard of these guys before.
Yeah, we probably talked about them before. So the Black-Eyed Children are, what they say, they're children, but where their eyes are just black, empty spaces. Ooh. God, man, aren't you gonna get scared or say something?
Well, I'm thinking
you're fascinated by it.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm thinking I don't know much about them. I've heard of them, but my question is are these just like children randomly walking around somewhere?
Yeah.
Are they?
So they've come out from all over the country. All right. And how I had heard about it was on one of these shows, like a History Channel type of thing. And this guy, he said he had gone to an ATM. Okay. And while he's there doing his thing, these 2 kids walk up to the car. One looked like maybe he was 13, 14. The other one maybe 9, 10. Okay. So he's looking at him and he notices, they don't really have eyes. He's not too thinking about it. I don't know why. That freaked me out.
Right.
So they start saying, hey, mister, can you give us a ride and all this, he said something, told him not to do it. And they're, come on, it's not that far, you know, let us in your car. And he said, you know, he kept fighting the urge to open the door, but he felt, once again, you open the door, something bad's going to happen. So he said, you know, he throws it in reverse, you know, takes off, and like, in this time it took him to like reverse and look to where he was, they were gone. Okay, and so that was one of the first stories I had heard about that. And then there's another one that came from Abilene, Texas. All right, and it's about a woman who, they came to her door, little boy, and knocks on the door, and he's like, you know, hey, you know, I'm lost, can you help me, you know? And this is what kind of trips me out, because like they don't have eyes. Okay, picture this. You're looking at a kid, and there's these black sockets. Okay, but these people still want to engage with them.
Maybe it's their power. Maybe that's their power.
Oh, well, that's true. Maybe it is their power.
Right?
I'd be freaking out. So you know, they're you know, she's like, you know, what's wrong? He's, oh, you know, I'm lost. Blah blah. Can I come in? It's cold. You know. And like this, so this is Texas. Yeah, I know Texas can be cold, but still, whatever. And you know, can I come in, call my mom, and all this? And she's like, well, you know, can I call her for you? You know, can you give me the number? I'll call for you. You know, this and that. You know, and he's like, come on, just let me in. And that's the thing about all these stories, is they seem to need permission to come in, so almost like a vampire.
Okay.
All right. So, listeners, if a black-eyed child, boy, girl, comes to your door and says, let me in, say no.
The answer is no.
No, the answer is no.
If they come knocking on the car, let me in, roll down your window. The answer is no.
No.
Got it.
So, and it's one of those things, because there are people, what happens if, you know, what's happened to the people who have said yes? And it's like, well, you never hear stories about people who say yes and get away. You know, I mean, not so much, you know, where they let them in the house and so, you know what I mean? There's the stories where they... Well,
if they said yes, they're never heard from again.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. Insert sinister laugh here. So, black-eyed children, that was my deal.
All right. I have another cryptid. This is the last one that I have. It's called Goat Man.
Oh, yeah, Goat Man.
Goat Man is a goat man. It's a hybrid credited with the canine death, and it lives in Prince George's County in Maryland in the United States. It resembles a goat kind of human hybrid, right? And so the history is that Goat Man actually came around in the 70s, right? It's not that old. It's not that old. So within Prince George's County, following the disappearances or deaths of multiple dogs, which were later attributed to this creature. So bunch of dogs popping up dead, mysterious ways. They say it's Goat Man. Now, how did they say it's Goat Man? That is a good question, because I'm like, would you like instantly, somebody would have to have seen Goat Man, right?
Or something. Did they have like goat footprints all over their head or something?
You know what? They didn't say. They just said that given the conditions of the remains, they thought that maybe these dogs died from passing trains. So people trying to debunk Goat Man. His existence continued to circulate through graffiti. They started getting signs saying Goat Man is here. And they have a law, and law enforcement would receive calls of reported sightings, but then thought a lot of them were pranks. It has a human face, but it's covered with hair. However, descriptions have differed. Mainly looks like a hairy humanoid. So
wouldn't it be like downy, like fur, like goat fur?
Yeah, I guess they just never said. So, I mean, there's been some variations, but it really got popular in the 70s. They say that it got its origins from bored teenagers. However, nobody's ever been able to debunk Goat Man.
say, when I think of Goatman, I'm thinking of like something big, 7 feet tall, buff, great big horns. You go, meh, like really mad.
Yeah, so that's Goatman, somewhere Prince George's County, Maryland. I thought that was interesting because nobody said, like, in everything that I've read about Goatman, it never said who saw Goatman.
That's the thing about Urgent Legends. It's always a friend of a friend.
Right.
You know?
So, the origin is somebody saw him and then somebody else saw him, and they've had sightings and they've had, probably some debunkings, but Goatman obviously likes dogs.
Huh. You would think he'd like tin cans.
Nope, dogs.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That
Dogs.
was a bad joke. All right. So now I looked this one up when we were going to do a different show. And I was doing some research on deep underground military bases.
Deep underground military bases. DUMS. DUMS.
DUMB.
Oh.
Deep underground military bases.
Oh, bases. Not the other B. Not that B. The other B. Gotcha.
So the story went, and this came out in 1996, and I heard about it shortly after. And it was funny because when it initially came out, I was like, okay, well, I like to be open-minded, So then after we started talking about it, I thought, well, I'm going to go back and watch the interview of this Phil Schneider. Okay. Phil Schneider, claims to have been an engineer, okay, with the Army Corps of Engineers. And said he was in charge of building these deep underground military bases.
How long ago? Now, when was his interview?
96.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me. So the story is he's drilling in this big drill. Something happens, he goes down in this cage, okay, with, military people because it's a military operation. He goes down, they find this big cavern with these aliens in there.
Okay.
Okay. Firefight ensues. He said, now this is the part that I didn't really pay attention to until after I went back and watched it. He said that some Black Berets had died, Secret Service, FBI, all these special services, all these people went down there and died in this firefight. And I was like, well, that didn't really make sense. Okay. Black Berets are usually reserved for people in the artillery. Okay. So why someone in the artillery regiment or branch would be going down this base didn't make sense. Secret Service, in charge of protecting the president and counterfeiting.
Okay.
Okay. None of those would work with this underground base thing. Okay. So these things that initially I really didn't pay attention to, after I decided to go back and watch it, these things started going through. So I'm doing more research, and so let me go back to the original story. Sorry, I'm jumping around. So he comes out, he gives this interview. He's got like 3 fingers on one hand, it's all messed up. He's got this great big scar. He said it was from one of these aliens shot a beam at him. And when he put his hand out, it went through his hand, hit him in his chest. The only way he survived was one of these Secret Service guys threw him in the little cage and got up to the surface. Okay. So he's giving this interview. Later on, he says, if anything happens, I want my story to come out because he's afraid for his life. A little while later, he's found dead. A suicide. Okay. Phil Schneider at this point was pretty bad shape. Okay. His hand's all messed up. He's got all these other things going on with this massive scar in his chest. Okay. And you've seen the scar, it's not fake, and it's interesting. I wish I knew why it happened, but so they found him dead with rubber tubing around his neck.
They called it suicide.
Yeah, they called it suicide.
Okay.
His girlfriend comes out and says, he said this was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going through and I'm looking for all these things. And these are some of the things that he said he found out because of his position as this underground engineer. Okay, so he found out that they had contact with the Greys in 1954, and they had this mutual contract. And we've talked about that before with President Eisenhower. Okay?
Right.
So he's kind of confirming that. All right. He says that the space shuttle was used to make special alloys because you need the vacuum of space in order for these metals to mix in certain ways to get new alloys. Okay, that makes sense to me, actually. So okay. A lot of the stealth technology was from craft that had crashed, alien craft.
Okay.
So he's hitting all these conspiracies we've talked about. All right. The World Trade Center bomb and the Oklahoma City bomb were actually small nuclear devices.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So he had all this stuff, and it's funny because when it first came out, I was like, yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. And then I did all this research, and it's bunk. It came out that it was bunk. But no one ever answered. These were my questions. Why was his hand so messed up?
And the scar, right?
And the big scar. Regardless of all that other stuff, even if that's not true, I want to just know the story between his messed up hand and the scar.
When did he die? Did he die in 96 too?
I don't remember when he died. I think it was 96. I can't remember. Oh, it was 96. The story I watched was from 79. My bad. I had my dates back.
Gotcha.
So he died in 96. The interview he gave was in 79. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, and so it's kind of an urban legend out through the UFO community.
That's a trip. That is
a trip. Why would you make a story up like that?
But why would you tell the world? Why are you the only one coming forward?
Yeah, well, he has so many other questions, It's like you said, there's not one other person that was involved in this operation, because I'm sure it had to number in the thousands logistically, that's going to come forward.
Yeah, that's ever come forward.
Yeah. So that's kind of a modern day UFO community urban legend.
Gotcha. That's cool, James.
We can end on that one for Halloween.
All right. So you got some random bullshit?
Random bullshit. Okay, we talked about something in the past. We'll do a quick one. You're going to the past now. We went to the future before. You're going to the past. I asked you what books you take to the future. What tools would you take to the past?
What tools would I take?
What tools? And you can't be saying a cell phone, stuff like that.
I would take the push lawnmower.
A push lawnmower, okay.
Okay. I would take like a scooter or rollerblade, some form of transportation on wheels, because I can't take a car, right? So something like that we could, build on and turn into something else, but something like a scooter, something like that with wheels, right? And then I think I would take a way to print, so some type of printing press. I would have like the first original printing press, and I would try to make sure that there were no guns. Thank you.
Okay, well, I thought about this. I was thinking I would take something to start fire with.
We don't need fire. Fire's bad.
You need fire to survive. So you got to take something to start fire with. An
Okay.
axe.
Okay. Yeah, I can always use the axe.
Good tool.
Yep.
To make fire. And then what else would I take? I never thought about the third thing I would take.
Well, fire and axe is a good start.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it up to our listeners. What third thing would I take?
Yeah, James, what would you take? That's a great question. However, for the sake of time, you can get us on social media and you can actually tell us there what you think James would take. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And you can also listen to the show on YouTube.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Hey, real quickly. We're getting close to 100 followers on Facebook. I know that's not a big deal to some people,
Woo-hoo!
but we're getting close. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. Considering how I really don't go on Facebook that much, that's very cool. So yeah, 100 followers is 100 followers. Yay for us.
Yeah, we're getting close.
We are getting close. All right, next week is another riveting guest. Happy Halloween, my friend.
Happy Halloween. Hey, what kind of candy do you want real fast?
I want Twix and Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Ooh, I'll take little baby Snickers, or actually I'll take big Snickers and peanut butter cups.
And some bubble gum.
Yeah, now that reminds me of that show where Roddy Piper says, I just came to chew bubble gum, kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Oh, they live?
Yeah, that's a good one. So on that note, so keep your minds open, people.